take the time to connect with each other. So from all of us at Events DC, we wish you a very happy holiday season. Thank you.
Okay, Angie Gates, thank you for your unwavering partnership. So take a look around you. You see again, the T-shirts in red, the T-shirts in green. Look over your shoulder. Make sure you thank everyone for being here to help us out. And let me tell you who made that possible. So the Salvation Army is instrumental in recruiting more than 1,000 volunteers that we host this week. At this time, I'd like to present Major Todd Mason of the Salvation Army National Capital Area Command. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, this is a real visual of what happens when community comes together. The Salvation Army is very grateful to be part of this community, and each day we are providing food services around the District of Columbia for those in need. And this is just a great visual of what happens when we all put our heads and minds and hearts together for a special occasion. Our role in this day primarily is to assemble all the volunteers. So whether you are a volunteer serving in the food lines today or downstairs in the resource centers or volunteering at check-in, we are so grateful for each of you and want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. God bless you all.
Thank you, Major Todd Mason, for everything that you do to help this move forward. So as I mentioned before, not only is it a good warm meal that we've supplied for the DC neighbors, we also offer coats. So each year at Safeway, Feast of Sharing also offers a coat distribution for our guests. This year's coat distribution would not be possible without the help and the friends of Operation Warm and the Ertz Family Foundation. And I'd like to bring up to the stage Heather Connolly of Operation Warm.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you all. At Operation Warm, our mission is to provide warmth, confidence, and hope through basic needs programs that connect under-resourced children and families to what they need to thrive. Today's Safeway Feast of Sharing is more than a meal, and the gift of a brand new coat is more than a coat. It's a moment of dignity, care, and connection that says this community sees you, values you, and stands with you. Thanks to the generosity of the Safeway Foundation, the support of the Ertz Family Foundation, we're honored to share warmth with you in every sense of the word. Physical comfort, confidence to face the season, and hope for brighter days ahead. From all of us at Operation Warm, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
And Heather, thank you. At Safeway, we also value our partnership with the Mayor's Office of Volunteerism and Partnership. Now I'd like to welcome Director Dominique Scott of Serve DC.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dominique A. Scott, and I have the privilege of serving under Mayor Muriel Bowser's leadership as the Chief Service Officer for the District of Columbia and the Director of Serve DC, the Mayor's Office on Volunteerism and Partnerships. It is an honor to join you for this year's Safeway Feast of Sharing. Today is a powerful reminder of what service looks like in action. At Serve DC, our mission is simple but urgent: to connect residents with opportunities to support one another, to strengthen communities, and to ensure that no one in our city stands alone. Every day, we partner with organizations and neighbors across all 8 wards to meet the needs and uplift families as we continue to build a more compassionate district. Events like Feast of Sharing bring that mission to life. Today shows what's possible when our community comes together with open hearts and shared commitment to care for one another. Whether you're here to lend a hand, receive a warm meal, connect with resources, or simply to be in the community, your presence today matters, and it strengthens our city. On behalf of Mayor Muriel Bowser and Serve DC, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving your time, energy, and spirit of service. I'm grateful to Safeway, Events DC, Salvation Army, Ertz Family Foundation, Smart City, Operation Warm, Airmark, the Britain Group, Metropolitan Baptist Church, Projection, Digital Conventions, the Cowbell Group, and every volunteer who makes this event so special year after year. Thank you, Muriel Bowser, for your leadership and for your continued support that makes events like this so great it uplifts our city. Have a wonderful Feast of Sharing, and thank you all for being here. Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, Dominique, thank you to Serve DC. At Safeway, we also value our partnership with the Mayor's Office and the Health and Human Services. Now I'd like to welcome Director Rachel Pierre.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. So thank you again, Safeway. My name is Rachel Pierre, and I am the Director of the DC Department of Human Services. It is a pleasure to be here with you for this Feast of Sharing holiday celebration. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Safeway again for organizing this amazing event that provides so much to so many. Thank you to Events DC, the Salvation Army, Operation Warm, my DC government colleagues, Director Scott at Serve DC, and Chief Donnelly at the DC Fire and Emergency Medical Services, and all other agencies that helped put this event together. I would like again to say a very big thank you to Mayor Muriel Bowser. I also want to acknowledge and say thank you to the council members here today, Chairman Mendelson, Council Members Bonds, Councilmember McDuffie, and Councilmember Fruman, who are here today. And another round for all of the volunteers in red who are here today serving. So the Department of Human Services is honored to be part of such an outpouring support for district residents. Our team has a resource table in the exhibition area where anyone here today can learn more about what we do and get connected to the range of services that we offer, from cash assistance to support with housing and security. I am also proud that in addition to thousands of meals that will be served on site today, we'll be packaging 1,500 meals that will be distributed to day centers and shelters locations throughout the city for our neighbors experiencing homelessness. Our shelter hotline provider, UPO, will be delivering those meals as they make their rounds, providing transportation to anyone who needs a safe place to stay tonight. Speaking of shelter hotline, as a reminder, it will be cold over the next several days. We're asking all district residents to please help your neighbors safe during the cold weather by calling 202-399-7093 or 311 if you see someone in need of shelter or a welfare check. Please make sure that we take care of our neighbors experiencing homelessness. And thank you again, everyone.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, I have a big surprise for everybody. Before I get that, I just want to throw out a quick vote of thanks to our band over here. We got Jam Session featuring MJ Campbell. Big round of applause for the band. Okay, now I'd like to introduce our elected officials joining us today. And when I do that, I'd also like everyone to remain on stage to join us in the commemorating of our 26th anniversary. We have many distinguished elected officials joining us today, and I am privileged to introduce Mayor Muriel Bowser to share a few words. If the mayor would like to come up to the podium.
Hello, DC! Good morning, everybody, and happy, as I like to say, gobble, gobble. It's great to be here with Safeway. Let's give Safeway a big round of applause and thank them for hosting this Feast of Sharing. Thank them for being in neighborhoods, providing quality food to DC. I don't even know how long, over 100 years, I think. And thank you, DC, for standing shoulder to shoulder and supporting our city. This holiday season, we have a lot to be thankful for. I know I do. I'm grateful that DC residents gave me 20 years to serve this great city. I'm grateful that DC voters put their trust in me to serve as your mayor. I'm grateful to the 37,000 people who work for DC government, the executives, the frontline workers alike. And I am grateful that we have been able to take some big swings and deliver on big promises. For example, we closed DC General and replaced it with dignified neighborhood short-term family housing. We've invested more in affordable housing than any jurisdiction in America. We created more opportunities for students, and in doing so, we increased our enrollment and graduation rates. We opened a new hospital in Ward 8. And when I became mayor, I promised the mayor for life, Marion Barry, that we would do more for Ward 8 than even he was able to do. And we kept our promise. And finally, I told everybody that we would bring our team home, and that's exactly what we're going to do, because in 2030, we'll have a state-of-the-art new stadium, housing, parks, and recreation. So we face some challenges too. Snowstorms, budget cuts, and even a global pandemic. But we stuck together and we came out on the other end safer and stronger. So while my tenure as your mayor will end on January 2nd, 2027, we have 13 months to run through the tape. Are you with me, DC? So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for placing your trust in me and giving me and my family this extraordinary opportunity. And I want to say something about you. I want to say how proud I am of you, that DC seniors are rocking, that we live in a community that takes care of our seniors, invest in good quality programming, nutrition, facilities, and this belief that you should be able to age in place in Washington, D.C., and not just get older, but to thrive. So let me thank my entire team. Sharon Hines is here from the Department of Aging and Community Living. I want to thank Dominique Scott and Serve DC for helping to bring us all together today. The Chief for the Fire and EMS Department, John Donnelly. Thank you, Chief, for all that you do. Our wonderful Human Services Director, Rachel Pierre. Give her a big round of applause. And I have to also thank my partners on the Council of the District of Columbia. Because I've worked with them for a long, long time. And Phil Mendelson and me have worked together the longest and know each other inside and out. And despite sometimes disagreeing, we share our faith and hopes for the District of Columbia. The same is true for my friend Kenyon McDuffie from my home ward, Ward 5. Give Kenyon and Phil a big round of applause. Kenyon, of course, is a son of the city and focused on how we create economic opportunities. I want to thank my friend from Ward 3, Matt Fruman. Give Matt a big round of applause, who came on the council and hit the ground running. And also my friend from Ward 6, and I missed the Brickies this year, but I'll try to get there next year, Charles Allen from Ward 6. And I want to thank Director Angie Gates here at Events DC for making sure that we're bringing our visitors to the most beautiful and best city in the world. First Brother is here with me today, my brother Marvin Bowser. Thank you, brother, for walking this walk with us. Now, I said a lot. I don't usually say this much because it's eating time, but I want to acknowledge Chairman Phil Mendelson and the members of the council.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser.
We now return to our previously scheduled program, already in progress.
I'll just say that this event embodies the spirit of the holiday.
Podium mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Podium mic check 1, 2, 3. Podium mic check. Podium mic check 1, 2. All righty.
Are you good? We didn't test the mics without Blue feet. That walks the mics up to the seated area. Have you tried that?
Q&A mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Make sure you have them cable. I'm just asking.
No. You're good. You're good.
Who are you talking about?
Q&A mic check, Q&A mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q&A mic check, Q&A mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q&A mic check, Q&A mic check. 1, everything's good? Okay. Going to check Q&A mic check number 2.
Podium mic check. 1, 2. Good. You still good? Okay.
Mic check, Q&A mic check. Q&A mic check number 1. Q&A mic check number 1.
Always working. Always working for you. Hi, everyone. I just want to make sure when we're doing the questions, please be sure to introduce yourself before asking. Thank you so much. I'm Isis, and I'm the mayor's press assistant.
What is it? Is it morning? Good afternoon. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I'm happy to answer a few questions. Emphasis on a few. Yes.
Peace and blessings, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
My question for you is, what does getting to the finish line consist of specifically? You know, what is your strategy in the final year of your mayoralty as far as getting us to the finish line, if you wouldn't mind just specifying?
Well, I'm sure I'll have more to say. I don't think I have a comprehensive presentation for you, but obviously I had the opportunity to talk to many of my teams yesterday and let them know that our expectation is that we will finish strong. We will continue to think big. We will continue to tackle the tough challenges of the district. We will look at our own agenda, the things that I have promised. I will assess where we are with those, and I will take them as far as I can. And I think I'll be able to finish most of them. Okay.
Of course, in your letter, you outlined numerous accomplishments, but there are still sentiments among marginalized DC residents that you may not have done enough for them. You may have done more for developers, landlords, people of that ilk. What is your message to them as far as your record as a mayor?
Well, I would tell them to check the record because it's pretty clear. When I look back and the promises I made, I just mentioned in the larger room for Ward 8, when I started running, a lot of people were skeptical in Ward 8. They told me then that, are you just going to come around at election time and we're never going to see you again? And I made a commitment to myself then that no one would ever be able to say that about me. I don't just go around at election time, and I have kept my promises. When we tally up, when I became mayor, there was literally nothing happening at St. Elizabeth's. An anchor had been promised that had fallen out. The project stalled. And we went in and decided that we had to be the first in. And that's when we built the sports and entertainment complex at Congress Heights, soon followed by hundreds of units of housing, Whitman Walker Clinic, home ownership opportunities, and now a brand new hospital. So over $1 billion has just been invested in Congress Heights alone. I look at our food access grants, and we hadn't been able to attract fresh food or dining in Ward 8. And that grant has just changed all of that, and we have been able to attract both sit-down dining and grocery. We'll be opening new libraries, investments in recreation centers as well. We've also driven down unemployment, and so when people say, like, well, what are you doing? I've always said our job is to attract opportunity and make sure we match people to it. In 7 and 8, I think when I became mayor, the unemployment numbers were over 11%.
Before the pandemic, we got it below 10%. I think we're still below 10% in Ward 7 and 8. That represents more people having jobs to afford housing and afford taking care of their families. We've opened as well an infrastructure academy that not only train people, but put people in real jobs. Do we have more to do? Yes, we have more to do in the city. We have more to do in this nation to close gaps between the haves and the have-nots. But I think we move the dial when we make sure that our systems are set up to help people get a good job, a life-sustaining job, and take care of themselves and their families in the district. So, as I said, we have built a foundation. Others will build upon it, but I'm proud of the work we've done. Yep.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good
Felicia
afternoon.
Ashley, ABC 7. Your father was heavily involved in civic engagement. What was it like for you to carry on his legacy through your time as mayor and your decades serving? And if you're open to sharing what you're considering as next.
Well, for some of you knew my dad. My dad was in the first class of ANC commissioners elected. He served a bunch of years. I don't even know how many, over 20. He chaired his commission, he chaired his civic association. And as a child, I went to a lot of meetings with him and just really soaked it up. My father loved that I was mayor. He did. He loved it. He loved it more than anything. Facts. He loved it. And I just think that he would be very proud. He was proud. And a friend told me, somebody who worked for me on my first campaign and was out knocking on doors one day, and I was joining later, so he had been out before me. And he said, who is your dad? I said, what do you mean? He said, I've been knocking on doors and people know your dad. And I said, yeah. So I told him my dad was, and he said, he left a good name for you out here. So that's what I live up to. Yeah.
CNN. Would you be able to tell us to what extent President Trump's law enforcement surge over this past summer might have impacted your decision not to run again?
It didn't.
Is there anything about that situation, looking back, that you feel you could have handled differently?
Well, what I know is we faced unprecedented action by a president. We laid out a way to get out of it, and we got out of it. Yep.
Thank you, Mayor. Gary Grumbach with NBC News. You've mentioned that you've never lost an election. Do you have any interest in running for elected office again, or does your time in elected office end when this job ends?
I think 20 years is a long time to get elected. I've won a bunch of elections. So not only, probably people can say they've never lost an election, but I've run a bunch of them. So I had 2 campaigns as an ANC commissioner, unchallenged. What do you call it when nobody runs against you? Unopposed. Those were good campaigns. And I consider all of my elections since then to be tough ones. And I have had the strategy that I learned from my mentor, Adrian Fenty, to knock on every door, start early, and ask people and share your vision with people. And so, what was the end of that question?
We won't see you on any elected office ever again?
I have the best job in Washington. I'm the mayor of my hometown, so I'll leave it at that. Now, if we become a state, maybe I'll come back and run for governor. When we become a state. Yes.
Mayor Bowser. Janae Delaxios. So you made this announcement that a lot of people are waiting. Do you feel at peace? How do you feel today?
I feel fantastic. Listen, it's hard to walk away from it, and I think I mentioned this, from a job that you love. People have afforded me 12 years, and that's been good for us, but I think it's been good for the city to have some continuity and leadership across really complicated issues. Where's Rachel? Rachel Pierre is here. Her predecessor served for 10 years at DHS. I think that's unprecedented in DC government. And Rachel was there for a good part of that time, if not the whole time. And so now that continuity of a leadership is going to allow us to continue to push down rates of family homelessness and continue programs that we started and finished. The benefit of a long tenure is that there are things that you can start and finish. And I think we have been able to do that in a lot of cases.
Well, I'll just ask, a lot of people will remember you for your sports accomplishments.
Yeah.
Is there anything, is that your legacy, or are there other things you would also put as high as RFK Stadium and the downtown sports?
It's hard for me to like rank things, and I think people's memories can be short, so they'll pick a few things, but I think I'll be remembered for a lot of aspects of my kind of mayoral personality. And, you know, I know that includes being a sports mayor. I hope people will remember us for our housing efforts, because I really do think they're unprecedented, building or helping to produce 36,000 units in less than 5 years. I think people regard me as a mayor concerned about fiscal responsibility and being a good steward of the government's money. I think people will regard me as a mayor who can get deals done on both sides of the aisle, and I think all of those things are true. I think that being a sports mayor in the sports capital, we didn't start off that way, and by 2030, we'll have every professional team, including our women's teams, in the boundaries of the District of Columbia. So I think that cements us as the sports capital. Yep. Okay, here, I think we're coming here. Okay.
Thank you. Alex Coma, WAMU. You won't be on the ballot next year, but for the people that are, they're wondering whether ranked choice voting will be in effect. I know Councilmember Felder has introduced a bill that would order a needs assessment, maybe delay this out from the primary. Do you think that's a good idea? Would you support a ranked choice voting delay?
I don't know that I have a say in a ranked choice voting delay. It was an initiative that I did not support. And I think the Board of Elections is independent from my office, and they have, I have to tell you, I didn't get a chance to hear the testimony, so I'll have to get caught up on where the board stands. And if the council, I would talk to council members to see where they are with that. I think it's a big thing to deliver by June, especially given the state of play. And it's a lot for, I think voters are gonna have an open mayoral seat. I don't think there's been one since since Mayor Williams, and you have a lot of movement on the council. So I just think that the most important thing is that we have a glitch-free election, that people have an opportunity to get to know candidates, because there could be a lot of them in a short period of time. Yes. Hi, Kate.
Well, given the unique structure of the district and this current administration, what would be your advice to your successor on threading that needle of advocating for the people of D.C. and dealing with what you have to deal with both in the White House and on Capitol Hill?
I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think with every relationship, and I think we've had the opportunity to deal with every iteration, a Democrat in the White House, a Republican in the White House, a Democratic speaker, Republican speaker, Democrat Senate majority, so we've dealt with every iteration. And I have to tell you, I don't think our approach has been different. We tell them who we are, we keep coming, we tell them how they can help, and we tell them how they can stay out of the way. They don't always listen, but that's always our approach. And my advice is just that the mayor of the district is always going to have a unique relationship with the president and the Congress until we become a state. Yes.
Hi, Mayor Rafael with WSA9. Mayor, no comprehensive plan, and we love your slideshows, usually but with some priorities that you might have in the next 12 months, and then also, have you heard from anybody on Capitol Hill or from the White House after your announcement yesterday?
Not directly, but Representative Comer, Chairman Comer sent a lovely statement I thought was very gracious. I watched a video of the president's remarks, and I think that's what I've heard so far. I talked to Senator Also Brooks.
And then I know you said no comprehensive plan with priorities, just that you have in the next 12 months.
Well, I think I outlined them broadly. I'll talk more specifically about it in another time. Yep. One second.
Marielle Carbone with DC News Now. I know that you've said that home rule, statehood, achieving statehood is the North Star. You've been in this fight for a while now, and obviously that hasn't been achieved. Do you see a time and place where DC ever actually becomes a state?
I do. And when people ask me how close we are to statehood, I always say this close, because that's how close we are to statehood. It's going to take the right makeup of the Congress. I personally think it will take a specific carve out from the filibuster for certain types of votes. I call them democracy votes, the types of things that would make the democracy stronger. Making DC a state is one of them. Making sure we deal with redistricting, and that's another one. So the things like that, I think, deserve a limited carve out from the filibuster. To get over 60 votes in the Senate is uphill. But listen, there could be a wave, there could be a sweep. And this is what we've done that wasn't true not the last time, but one of the times that we had all houses was like, not only is DC ready, we have a new constitution, we have more support in the Congress than we've ever had. And we have a referendum for DC voters that says over 80% that this is what we want. The nation now sees the problem. I think the nuanced difference that I have witnessed in my tenure is that we've always talked about statehood, about how it hurts us in DC. We don't have representation. We don't have autonomy. What the nation sees is we don't have the 2 senators that would make our policy objectives nationally more palatable. Tom.
Thank you. Tom Sherwood from WAMU Politics Hour and Dream City Podcast. You said you've been strategic dealing with President Trump and his assaults on the District of Columbia. Some of your worst critics, or many critics of yours, say that you have not spoken up enough about ICE and the Border Patrol and their attack on district citizens. And that, would you, now that you're not running for re-election, do you feel any more freedom to speak up about the attack on district citizens when it comes to these federal officials who are masked, unmarked cars, and grabbing people off the street?
I am free. You're looking at a free woman. I've always been free. I was born free. Okay, so let me be clear about that. I am free. So the choices I make are not mistakes. I make them for a reason. And the choices I have made, I stand behind. What I really wish I had been very clear about, because I know people don't always read the details, is making very clear that our use of federal agents is not new. You know that. We have federal agents in the district all the time. And our emphasis on working with DOJ agencies was clear from the beginning. In immigration enforcement, it's never been our job. And so making clear that we don't do immigration enforcement and making that more clear in our mayor's order maybe would have helped a perception of federal agents working in DC as federal agents always have.
I have a follow-up question. You've been in office now 11 years as mayor, and you have one more year.
Almost, yeah.
When is the last time you drove a vehicle?
I drive all the time. Don't tell my officers.
You have, well, that might be the news. You own a car?
Of course. I own the same car. So I have a 2010 that I bought in 2009, and I plan to have it another 10 years.
Can we see you driving?
No. Yes, no, but I have a car. I can drive. Yes.
Mayor Bowser, thank you for doing this. Nicole Scango with CBS News. You still have over a year to go, but what do you plan to do when you leave office in January 2027? And what are you most looking forward to doing when you're out of office? And will you endorse a candidate to succeed you?
I will explore many wonderful opportunities, I'm sure. That's the answer to your first question. What was the second question?
Will you endorse a candidate to succeed you? And what candidate do you think Washington, D.C. needs either to build on your legacy or to go in a new direction moving forward?
This is what I know, that D.C. residents are going to decide, and they may or may not care what I say. I think there is a lot of belief that endorsements make a huge difference in races. And the last person who had the strongest coattails in D.C. was Marion Barry. And so that's not to say, and I said to the Post earlier, I'm a taxpayer. I'm a lifelong Washingtonian. I have a kid in school, and I vote. So I am going to be watching, and I do have a unique perspective. I've had this job 12 years. I was on the council for 8 years. And I firmly believe that the next mayor has to convince DC voters that they will protect home rule. I firmly believe that our trajectory with our schools has to be maintained, and mayoral control and council accountability has brought us a long way. And I know we have to grow our economy. We can't be a city that people will leave, and we have to continue to attract good-paying jobs to attract the jobs we could lose. All right, I'm going to take a couple more here and then here.
Hi, Mayor Bowser. Bob Barnard with Fox 5. You've got a year to go, but is there anything, any case that will stay with you, that will nag with you, that you are not able to? Chuck Ramsey, when he left the police force, said there was a murder case of a child that he wasn't able to solve. Anything as you leave that you're going to wish had been resolved under your watch?
Well, I have 13 months to resolve it, so I won't say. I'll keep. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of things, but in 12 years, in thousands upon thousands of decisions, I kind of wouldn't reduce our service to the one that got away. I'd rather focus on all the ones that landed just right. Yes.
Mayor, Rebecca with 7 News. Are you doing any succession planning during your last year to help whoever steps in next?
We will have a strong transition. I pride myself in like being the best. So we want to have the best transition. That's what we want to do. And some of that, I don't know how exactly it will roll out, but I expect to deliver great plans, qualified staff that could stay or go, depending on who the mayor is. But this is, you didn't ask me this specifically, but I will say, and sometimes when people ask me what's my advice for the next mayor, not just here, but any mayor, and this is one thing I learned in my transition. I had, at the time, Democratic nominees usually went on to become the mayor, and that's been the case. I had a competitive general election back in 2014, if some of you don't remember. David Catania ran against me. And I couldn't go from the primary to planning the government. I had to go from the primary to making sure I beat David Catania, who was a formidable opponent. And so by the time the general election came in November, I think I had 54 days after I won to set up the government. And it became really clear to me that everybody didn't have to go. And I knew the directors because I was on the council for 8 years. I had a sense of who I didn't think was in kind of my mold of doing the work. And I just decided and I had had this conversation with Mayor Gray, that I would do everything possible to be fair to the outgoing cabinet members. So if I knew like I was going in a different direction, I'd be upfront and direct. But some people I wanted to look at a little bit longer. And I think they wanted to look at me a little bit longer. So some people stayed on a little bit longer before they went on to their next things. But I also had the time, and I believe this very firmly, I only hire people when I have the right person. I don't try to speed it up. I don't try to let you all pressure me into naming somebody. When I'm not ready to name somebody, I hire somebody when I have the right person. So that would be my biggest advice. We have very talented people who love government, know the city, and deliver for this city. And my message to them was just do your job. Don't do politics. Don't, that's my job. You do your job. And if you want to stay on, I think you'll have a shot. And if you want to move on, you're going to have great opportunities.
There's a question of whether Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton will run for re-election. Either way, is that a seat you're interested in?
It is not. Let me be clear. I will not be running for that seat.
And why is that?
I don't want to.
Do you want to elaborate on why, or?
I don't want to be in the Congress. Okay. Did you get a question? Okay, your question.
Beatrice Peterson, ABC News.
Thank you, Beatrice.
Thank you. You are the longest serving Black mayor in a major city, and you decided to say that you wanted to pass the baton. Can you tell us a little bit about that decision? Was it a singular moment? Was it cumulative? And Thanksgiving is tomorrow. What are you thankful for?
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked that people thought I was going to run for a fourth term. When I ran for, I think it was Tom Sherwood. When I ran for a third term, you know what everybody said then? Tom, yeah. What did you say?
My part of the speech?
Yes.
That third terms don't turn out though.
Third terms are hard. So everybody said third terms are hard. And my answer was always, well, first terms are hard, second terms are hard, all terms are hard. But it is, in some ways, a fourth term is kind of gratuitous to me. That we set out a big agenda, we delivered on it, and the ability to keep winning, it gets harder and harder. That doesn't mean that I didn't weigh it seriously, because I love my job, I love this city, I know I can do the job, but I also know voters start taking a hard look and saying, we like you, we love you, but who's next? So I do politics, I'm a politician, so I always worry about that, and I'm proud of what we've done, and it's time. I'm thankful for my health and for my family and for a great, great team of people that have supported me all along this journey, inside the government and outside the government. I saw some folks out there from Riggs Park. I told you about my unopposed elections, but it was the people of Riggs Park who trusted me and believed in me first. When they allowed me to be ANC commissioner, and then the people of Ward 4, and then the people across all 8 wards. I'm grateful. Martin, I think you're going, and Jenny, then we're going to wrap up.
Thanks, Mayor. Martin Ostermuel from the 51st. So you mentioned that you've been in DC politics for 20 years at every level that the DC government has to offer, short of the State Board of Education, I suppose. Is there anything in those 20 years, for better or for worse, that has changed in DC politics? Like the good things, the bad things, anything notable to you that has changed about how DC politics works, how it's run, how people kind of participate or partake in it?
Everything has changed.
The details, please.
A lot has changed. Let me put it that way. I think kind of the campaign nitty-gritty has changed from, I don't know, there have probably been 10 different fundraising changes in the time that I've been campaigning, at least. There's public elections, I mean, public financed elections, which I think you're seeing a lot of people get in races. I think, there should be some analysis about that. It's good when everybody runs. It's not good when people take public money and drop out or don't get enough petitions or collude with each other. So I think some of that we need to take a look at. I think that I think the party structure is a little bit different than it was when I started running. And I think if ranked choice voting emerges, it'll be a huge difference in how voices, I think, are counted in the city. I think some voices will be diluted.
Thank you, Mayor. Jenny Gathert from the Washington Post. Just two quick questions. RFK is obviously a legacy achievement for you, but it won't be implemented by the time you're out of office. You'll still be sort of the nitty-gritty details of getting that actually done will be passed off to the next administration too. What would you feel good about in terms of like what you would leave the next administration? What's the goal there in terms of like what needs to get done, you think, in your mind before you leave office there? And then second, on a lighter note, what's something that you don't have time to do right now or can't do right now is when you're mayor that you're looking forward to doing when you're not anymore?
I think that we will have a schedule in place that makes RFK unassailable. That's my plan. And I think we're on that path. I think the team has been working diligently, even before there was a final vote. They felt strongly that they had to risk, put some of their investment at risk to even get started with the planning. And that has proven to be a good decision. So I think that, we obviously have the inside government nitty-gritty to work on with them. They're good partners, and we're at the table with them. And I like the structure that I've set up just to focus on those that day one delivery. So I feel pretty good about that. What do I don't really know what I'm missing, actually, because over the years my life is all mixed up, like around what I do. I know one thing that I see a lot of people doing that I don't do. Like they go to these boozy brunches on Sunday for like 4 hours. I don't think I've ever done that. I want to do that. I want to go to a boozy brunch. Thank you, everybody.